and welcome back to GFF and Friends, the podcast. The podcast for convalescing.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. I'm your host, GFF Friend, a.k.a. Todd. And joining me, as always, is my teeny tiny, adorable, recovering husband, Rob.
yes, and you are recovering as well.
I know. We're a mess. We are a house
Yeah.
full of mess right now.
Seriously, could we be more in our 40s?
Also, I just had an English muffin, and now I'm phlegmy. Our bodies are dumb.
Yeah.
Why does our body do this?
I don't know, that's gross.
That's growth. Yeah, Rob and I had a couple procedures.
Yeah.
Just a couple lifts, a couple tucks
You know, got to keep it tight. So,
for the country club.
yeah, you know.
But yeah, Rob had a complicated mole removal.
Yeah, like
So complicated that he had to go under anesthesia.
yeah, it was just a situation where they were like, "Hey, basically it's kind of in a crease.
Yeah, this is in a weird place.
In order for us to remove and seal, you don't want to be awake for this."
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened, and now I'm just kind of moving slowly.
Yeah, on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Feeling good on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so that was a weird little kind of like just gap in my week.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm back at it, just slowly.
And then on Wednesday, I had a complicated ingrown toenail removed. I almost said toe. I just had the whole toe removed.
Which I mean, yeah, like gnarly that it was local only, but at least you didn't have to have a ride home or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like it wasn't that level of like you didn't have to fast.
It did burn like fire. Burn like fire. Because this is not a medical diagnosis, but I'm convinced that I have this genetic disorder that a lot of people have. Apparently it's high in redheaded people, but
Oh, yeah.
anesthesia just does not work on me. Like numbing agents need twice or three times the amount normal people do.
Yeah. Well, and meanwhile, like I was such a willing participant in my situation. Like I'm a pretty good patient once I'm there.
Yeah.
And so it was funny because like, you know, they got me into the operating room and like, you know, I'm usually prepared for like the count backward from 100. You know, we all know we get to like the second number and then it's out. 99, by the way, is what that is. I don't know why I didn't just say that. But like, if for me, like literally they got me just kind of situated and I was just laying there and like my eyes were closed as soon as they put the oxygen mask on me because I really didn't care. I was like, I know where I'm going. I have no opinion about this from now on. And like,
It must be nice to not have anxiety.
well, I mean, I had anxiety, but it's also one of those things of like, I'm here. This is not a thing I can control anymore. This is just where we're at.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. They were like, well, you know, just lay down whichever, because I've never had surgery where I had to be on my stomach. And so they were like, lay with your head whichever direction is comfortable for you. So I immediately just like laid down and I was like, it was kind of early. I was tired anyway. This was nice. And so like I just kind of laid my head there. They put the oxygen mask on me and as soon as it made a good seal where I was comfortable, I just closed my eyes and they were like, you might feel a little spiciness in your IV. And I was like, no. And then I just kind of just continued to fall asleep. It was like so easy. It was one of those where I was like,
you sleep like you're under anesthesia anyway. Like
I
you
do.
are a medical miracle anomaly where as soon as your head hits the pillow, you're asleep. It's very unfair.
Yeah.
It needs to be studied. But yeah, you can fall asleep at the drop of a dime. Is that the phrase?
drop of a hat.
Drop of a hat?
Yeah.
You can turn on a dime, you drop a hat.
Yeah.
You feed a cold and you starve a fever.
Exactly.
But yeah, you sleep no problem. So
oh yeah, like I'm asleep on planes before takeoff.
they didn't even ask you to count down.
No.
You were just out.
I mean, I don't even, like, maybe they did ask me and I was already out, or maybe they were just like, he's already done. We're not even going to bother.
Well, the best is when they brought me back to like be with you as you woke up. I was just joking with the nurse, which like no comedy is better than a tight five you get to do with medical people when you're about to go under. I like joke after joke. I just feel so funny. Everybody laughs. But anyway, the nurse was walking me back
They're
to Rob's
very supportive.
Yeah, Rob's cubicle, and I was like, "Did he punch anybody? Did he swear?"
Because I've had really, really bad coming out of anesthesia stories where I've taken swings at nurses when I was like
You do it
10.
in your sleep.
Yeah, but like I've taken swings at staff when I was like a child, and I've literally woken up with like my mom under one arm and like a nurse under the other, and my feet are dragging on the ground as they're just trying to get me to the car.
Oh, like Weekend at Bernie style?
Totally. Like, so yeah, I have been catatonic. I have been combative. I have been all sorts of things because I've had way more oral surgeries than most people should have. Like by the time I was like 20, I'd had 3. And so it was just like, I had really weird anesthesia stories, so I have no idea what I'm capable of.
So the nurse is walking me back to Rob's cubicle as he's waking up, and I asked her, I was like, did he punch anybody? Did he swear? And she's like, no, he was really great. She's like, he did do a thing with his arms. And I was like, did he put him straight up or like behind his head? And she was like, yeah, he instantly like put him in the air and then put him behind his head. I was like, oh yeah, we call that lazy day by the river, Huckleberry Finn style, where Rob just likes to sleep with a hand behind his head and his elbow up. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it now. But this is how Rob sleeps every night of his life.
At some point, yeah, this happens, and this is
sometimes he'll do a double.
Well, yeah, this is a half, right? Or is this a? And then
that's
just
a half
whole
lazy day, and then that's a full lazy day by the river.
Yeah,
and all you need is like a big piece of grass coming out of your mouth, and you're Huckleberry Finn.
But the other Rob special though is the forearm scratch.
Well, yeah. So Rob will be laying on his back, and he'll stick his arms straight out like a zombie. And then he'll just start lightly fingertipping his forearms
back and forth.
And he'll do that for 5 minutes. He'll do it for a very long time. And then he'll just stop and his arms are just, and he's laying on his back. His arms are just to Jesus, straight out.
And then they slowly lower, I hear, right? Or do they ever just drop or do they slowly drop?
Oh, no, they slowly drop. And usually when they start to drop is when you start mumbling or talking. But yeah, I walked in the room and he was, which you did not remember. But I walked in the room and he was coming out of anesthesia and he was half lazy day in it. And it was very adorable.
I do remember waking up with an arm behind my head. And it was my IV arm.
Was it?
Yeah, but I mean, like it. They were telling me it's the tech's gotten better where it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah,
and
they
you
don't
can
like
move a lot
leave
more.
Needle in you or whatever.
So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. But I literally woke up just,
This is the second time I've been with you coming out of anesthesia.
Yeah,
the first time was when you had your hernia.
Yeah.
What was that, like a decade ago? It feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, probably 6 years?
Yeah, but you're very cute coming out of anesthesia.
Oh, thanks.
It's like puppies. Anything little coming out of anesthesia is just adorable.
Well, but I've heard I'm like a chihuahua sometimes, so that's not great.
But yeah, so for my toe procedure, he like numbed up my toe. First of all, I had my right big toenail done when I was like 12 or 13, maybe even younger. And then I just never had my left toenail because like the ingrown toenails on that toe.
Is that why that toe looks 5 years younger?
It does. She had a lift a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually I was able to like control it. But like this past week I had a really bad one. And then I tried to like fix it myself and I just made it worse. And then it like got a little infected. I was like, okay, I got to go finally have it done, 30 years later. But I went in and the first time I had it, they had that like screen that they put over your legs so you can't see what's happening on your feet at all. And then he came in and he was about to like numb me up and I was like, do you have the screen? I can't watch this. And he was like, oh yeah. And then he just put a paper towel on like a little like table tray thing. And so I had to like lean back and hide my feet behind this paper towel so I couldn't watch it because nobody needs to see that. I don't want that image in my brain.
He should have given you a night mask.
Right?
But seriously, I love my night mask.
But then the thing he put the paper towel on was the tray he put all his utensils on. So I still saw the like,
the torture devices.
Yeah, the torture devices. And but at least it's done. We got it done. And when he was injecting me, he was like, okay, I'll be back in like 10 minutes to let that numb up like dentists do. And then he came back and I was like, yeah, I still feel everything. He was like, when you go to the dentist, do you need extra numbing? And I was like, yeah, always. He was like, yeah, that happens to people. So apparently it's not just in my mouth. It's my whole body. I just need extra, what is it? Novocaine? Lidocaine?
Yeah.
Some kind of cane.
Yeah. I believe it's lidocaine. But
and yeah, it was awful. And then I still like felt it. It was just this like burny sensation. It was never like piercing pain. It was just burning. My toe feels like burning. And I had my jacket on. I had to like undo my zipper and start fanning myself. I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
We need to advocate. I've always said this about dentist's office. We need to advocate for more windows in medical buildings. Like, I hate when you're getting something done and they take you into a room with 0 windows. It feels so isolating and terrifying. Like, if I could just see the sky, I think half of my procedures would be better.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, my God. Word of advice, never eat an English muffin 5 minutes before you record a podcast. RuPaul knows,
right?
That's one of our new toys.
Seriously, this is this is not a sponsored post. This is the girl button from Untucked from the World of Wonder store.
Yeah.
It's
the World of Wonder girl button.
Yeah, inspired by a former coworker and very good friend of mine. He had a shade button in his office, and every time we had girl talk, we had to occasionally whack the shade button. And so we've got both shade and girl buttons here now.
The shade button's upstairs. We'll bring the shade button down next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's my medical rant for the day is more windows in procedure building or offices.
Yeah.
It just feels so isolating. Like, remember that time I had that tooth? You came in to see me. I was having a tooth pulled.
That was a little
and it was just
weird.
like a closety room in a dentist's office, no windows.
Well,
they did have a sticker of a cloud on the light above your head.
See, that's what happens though when you put a dentist office in a strip mall instead of in a medical building. Like, that was the problem. Like, that was literally, I think it was next to a Hot and Ready. Like, it's, I don't really think.
Is that what you call a Little Caesars?
I mean, it's funnier that way.
Oh, is there a Hot and Ready down there?
Hot and Ready.
Oh, let's go to the Hot and Ready.
I was just going for comedy on that one. I could have chosen any.
No, I like calling it a Hot and Ready. That's funny.
I was like, facility?
Don't explain your joke.
Restaurant?
Don't explain that you're doing a joke.
Okay, sorry.
That ruins the joke.
Sorry, yeah.
You've always called it Hot and Ready your whole life.
Yes.
But yeah, my old South African dentist, who was a South African army dentist turned just like family dentist in Southern California.
Well, he was an army medic, right?
No, he was I
dentist.
guess army medic turned army dentist, but he did dental work, and his
bedside manner was hilarious.
Because I guess out in the field in the South African army, they pull them, they drill them, there's no kid gloves at all.
Yeah.
There's no bedside manner anywhere to be found.
No, it is very much just kind of buck up, here we go.
Yeah. And he was very nice, he was very sweet, very progressive, but he definitely treated men like men. And so he was like, oh, you're a man and you're 6'7", you can handle anything, and I don't need to be soft for anything. Meanwhile, I'm just like a little church mouse, and I'm like, you're hurting me. It hurts.
Yeah. He had a good voice, too. Like, he had a good voice with a good accent.
Yeah. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't seen him since
I hope he's doing well too.
2017.
Although,
when I had to switch dentists because he was double charging me for shit.
Well, and also it was a little bit like, a Saw movie for you in there. Yeah. So like, I
had a lot of like chemical trauma in my body from that dentist office.
Yeah.
Like just like driving to that parking lot, I was like, so
yeah. And meanwhile, I'm like falling asleep in the dentist chair during cleanings. Like
Rob's one of those people that like loves going to the dentist because he just gets a cleaning and feels no pain and then just leaves.
Well, I mean, but like I went through all the bullshit before because I literally have had like 3 teeth fall out naturally. Every baby teeth, every other tooth had to be like pulled or like surgically removed from with like full general anesthetic. So like I've had a lot of crap happen in there like that I'm just like over, and now it's like I just get to do the cleanings and it's nice. Like,
meanwhile, I have butter teeth, and no matter what I do, they just started instantly rotting out of my head. And so does my mom, and so do my brothers, and so do my nephews. We all just have genetically terrible teeth, and it's very frustrating.
I'm lucky because I do.
Although I did never need braces, and I have perfectly straight teeth,
and that's not fair. Because without braces, my teeth would be all over the place. Yeah. Like they would be off camera at this point. Like they just everywhere.
I feel like I can remember every single medical procedure that, especially like going under anesthesia, I can remember every single one because I haven't had that many in my life.
Yeah.
One of my earliest memories, one of my first ones was I had surgery on my toes because when I was born, my like ring finger toe was completely bent under my foot, like just completely bent under my foot. Oh, I did a shaka. But I did like a foot shaka when I was a baby. So I had to have my toes like broken and reset.
Good.
Oh my God, I'm just now realizing I've had broken bones because I had those toes done when I was like 4.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that counts.
I'm such an indoor kid. I don't think I've ever even had that kind of a broken bone.
Yeah, right. Knock on wood.
Yeah, right. So as I just fall over now
we don't
and break
need
everything.
Broken bones.
Right. We're already convalescing anyway. Like I'm fine. But at least like it's not like I'm a pro skateboarder. I or have any aspirations to be. I at least feel like now watch. I'm going to get like hit by a skateboarder on a sidewalk and like break my leg. But yeah, I was like,
I think anesthetically, I've been under that surgery when I was 4, and then my appendix. My freshman year of high school, where I missed the first week of high school. And then the next time after that was my wisdom teeth. And then with you. And then colonoscopy. And then, wisdom teeth was twilight. That wasn't even full anesthesia. Is that it? I feel like I'm missing one.
During the pandemic in Pasadena.
Oh, that was just local. I never went under.
Oh.
I tell you that every day.
My bad, sorry.
when I had lipo.
Yeah. Sorry, but that was more.
But P.S. Don't get lipo.
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't
was
work.
not a good experience.
But yeah, I feel like that's it.
'Cause, yeah,
and then under my colonoscopy, I woke up halfway through. So
Because yeah, I've done tonsillectomy, regular oral surgery, wisdom teeth, hernia.
and then this.
Yeah,
You're a pro.
right?
But yeah, getting my appendix out, I think, was the most invasive surgery I've ever had. Welcome to Surgery Talk with Todd
Right?
and Rob.
Seriously.
There was something else I wanted to talk about, but I totally forgot.
Is it about the movies we've been watching?
No.
Oh.
It was more about like medical stuff.
Oh.
Oh well, lost it. Welcome to your 40s, kids.
Right.
I have no idea what I was about to talk about.
Next week, we'll talk about the cognitive test that we are failing for our doctors.
I mean, we can talk about the movies we watched.
Nah, that's cool. We don't have to if you don't want to.
We watched a really fun one last night called The Blackening.
Seriously, last night's was fun. I adore some of the cast in that, so I was super excited anyway.
It was like a perfect mix of Scream and Scary Movie. Like, it was like a funny Scream, but
Right?
it wasn't like parody.
Because yeah, it was satirical in that, like, in the way that Scream is a satire of horror. But yeah, but it was like somewhat self-aware and got slightly spoofy at times, but nothing crazy. It was still very serious in its material.
Yeah.
As goofy as the dialogue got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
But
was
there were
fun.
like a couple like tongue-in-cheek parody kind of breaking the fourth wall jokes, but it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that parody like Scary Movie.
Yeah, and seriously, and I just love Antoinette Robinson. Like, I just love her.
And
from
then-
Dear White People.
What else did we watch? You watched a sleep paralysis movie, but we talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah. What was the other? Oh, we watched Flow, the Latvian animation film with no dialogue, which is kind of cool. And is it nominated for Best Animated?
Yeah, and Best Foreign, I think, as well.
Nice.
I think I got 2 nominations. But yeah, it's called Flow. It's a animated feature with. It's just about animals and there's no dialogue. It's really cool. It very much feels like a video game, and like it kind of looks like a couple video games that we've played.
Yeah, no, it's funny because animation. I'm always curious now. Is like, well, what was it made in? Was it made? Because you can animate an entire movie in Unreal, game engine at this point. So I'm always kind of curious, especially when it starts to feel like a game at times.
Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
definitely
cool.
drove Ruby crazy.
Oh yeah, until she finally fell asleep. But the first 30 minutes, there was a lot of getting up off the sofa to go check out the magic window of the TV.
Because it's about a cat, but then the cat encounters several other animals and lots of dogs.
Yeah.
And there's lots of barking and there's bunnies. It had a lot of triggers for Ruby.
Yeah.
But she finally realized, because we call the TV the magic window. She finally realized the magic window isn't real halfway through the movie and fell asleep.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. She does this thing where like she'll be laying on the sofa, she'll see a cat or a horse or something on the TV. She'll jump down to run to the magic window to be like, I gotta bark out this window. But then as soon as she gets to the TV, she like shakes it off and realizes it's not real, and then just continues her loop back to the sofa. But she will do this like OCD loop of like jumping back up, seeing an animal on the TV, jumping down, running to smell it.
Maybe
and then
this one's
giving up.
real.
Yeah. Like, Ruby, it's never real.
She's so sweet.
We also always say our favorite joke, which is, Ruby, those animals are long dead.
Right? Does not matter how old the show or virtual or not.
Yeah, even if it's a brand new commercial, Ruby,
Right.
that cat is long dead.
Oh, yeah. So,
She's like, get it out of my house or I will eat it.
oh, what a baby.
I know. We still have no idea what she's going to do if she ever gets a bunny or a cat or a squirrel, because she definitely she's kind of barred from the backyard right now because we have a bunny who possibly has a family living under our deck, and she knows it's there and she is aggressively trying to get it. She's obsessed with it.
Yeah, she will not focus on anything else in the backyard. All it is how can she get under the deck?
Yeah.
And
Our
we
deck
obviously
is-
don't want her there.
Yeah. And our deck is like perfectly square, but it's built into a hill. So like one end of it is completely flush with the ground. And she can get her snout under there, but that's it.
Yeah.
But then the other end of the deck is like completely open to where like we could crawl in on our hands and knees.
Yeah, in a pinch, I could get there if I had to.
Yeah. And so she will run to all 4 corners of the deck. She's just constantly running to 4 corners of the deck, trying to get under there. And then she will like jet underneath the deck. We've already lost a couple toys up there because she'll like bring a toy up there and then drop it.
Yeah.
And then, but she is just so laser focused on every edge of the deck. And I think the bunnies are up in like one of the corners that you can't get to, but she is trying her hardest to get there.
And she's chased an adult bunny out of there multiple times.
Yeah,
and
it's terrifying.
We're pretty confident that there's some little ones in there, and the last thing we would want is for her to get any of them. So right now she just doesn't have access to the backyard anymore because we're on bunny watch.
Yeah, one time it scared the literal shit out of me. Well, no, I didn't poop myself.
No, but like it's
scared
really
me
scary.
so much. Like I was like, Ruby, what are you trying to get? Like, what is under there? Because this was like the first time it happened. And I was standing by the deck just like talking to Rob, and all of a sudden this bunny just shot out like between my legs, really loud, rustling leaves, like just had, cartoon swirls behind it going so fast. And it ran across the yard, and Ruby like chased after it, and it got really scary for like 1 second. But
because I've had the same thing happen, because it's just like a small brown blur flying at you. What the hell is that? But then after that, you have a giant black blob of Ruby, and Ruby will take your legs out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she does not care. She has done it to me. Where like she was like, oh, I'm chasing a toy, and there happens to be this person in between it and me.
So good.
Don't care. Like, and she hit me from the back of the knees and just took me straight to the floor.
And you were on the phone.
I was on the phone at the time.
It's funny.
But yeah, like, so seriously, she is like, she doesn't care.
Well, and like the bunny, first of all, we have no confirmation that it has a family, but the bunny runs through the same hole in our fence. Like it dug its own hole underneath the fence that I could put a rock in and like close up that hole. But if it has a family, I don't want it separated from its family. I will not break up a bunny family. Okay. Yeah. I'm not a home wrecker.
Right. We're not going to make newborn bunnies starve.
Yeah.
So no, we're not doing that.
And I'm pretty sure a bunny could get back in, but yeah. So like, I don't want to close up the bunny hole. I don't know how to get rid of bunnies. I'm not going to like, obviously we're not going to exterminate them. I'm not going to like get some kind of sound device to scare them off.
I feel like just when the spring comes, they will be larger and they will move on.
Yeah. Once they're grown up, we should do a little research and see like when like bunny birthing season is.
Right.
But
well, we even talked about
once the bunnies can get away on their own, then Ruby can have the backyard back.
We even talked about doing a little bit of chicken wire where it's like just big enough for bunnies to get out.
Yeah.
Not big enough for a dog to get in.
Because she's also chased after, there's a neighborhood cat that likes to poop in our backyard. She's also chased after that cat, and it got away.
There's a family raccoon that likes to walk along our fence.
Yeah, she chased after the raccoon family and almost got them one time, and the raccoons like hissed at her. It was funny.
There's a squirrel that she just hates.
Yeah, she has a vendetta with a squirrel
that walks across the other part of the fence.
Yeah,
and climbs up the same tree, and she hates it.
And then birds.
Oh yeah,
birds are her mortal enemy.
Yeah.
She hates them so much.
Seriously, that dog is just ready to murder something.
And she's so fast.
And we're never going to let it happen. That's the sad thing. It's like we keep stopping her, but...
And also, she, will jet underneath a bush when you're walking, and she'll nearly pull you over because, like... And then all of a sudden, a bunny will explode out the other side. Yeah. She's bunny obsessed.
Which I will say, some of the bunnies are really stupid in that they do not go out of her way. They continue to just stay in her way. And I'm it's like, I'm on your side, bunny, and I'm holding her back here. But you gotta have some survival instincts here.
Yeah.
Because if I let go of this dog, she's gonna kill you. Because seriously, you are doing dumb shit right now.
Plus, like, I don't want to see that gore, but also I don't want that image in my head of Ruby killing something.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
Because she's such a sweet baby. We love her so much.
I know. She's so harmless.
We just, like, had really good zoomies
for
with
us.
her. Like, we just had really good zoomies with her upstairs playing with her new Gotcha Day toy. Oh, yeah, her Gotcha Day was this week.
Yeah.
We've had her for 3 years.
What a baby.
We got her a gigantic whimsy, and she just... She was like afraid to eat it.
She panicked.
Yeah, she was like, "This is 3 times the size of my normal whimsy. I don't know what to do."
I always joke around that whenever we get her a giant whimsy for a holiday or gift type thing, that she is freaking out because she thinks she shrank. She's like, "Oh God, it happened again!
Why is it so big? What happened to my body?"
Yeah. So,
she does that panic thing where like she doesn't know. She has a couple, like the guest bedroom and her bed in the living room, a couple spots where she eats all of her treats, and sometimes she can't decide which one, and she just like kind of panic turns in the middle. She's like, "Do you want to go this way? Do you want to go that way? I don't know where to do it. I'm panicking." She's so cute. Ugh. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We don't deserve dogs.
Right?
She's just so special.
Yeah.
We also had some snow in Seattle this week. Which was nice. Is the best kind of snow where it was real pretty and then it was gone.
Right.
It stayed a little bit on like some grass and some bushes, but it's all gone now.
Yeah, we had the foresight to shovel where our tires would go on our driveway.
We just shoveled our lane in the driveway.
Which worked.
Yeah.
So, hey. That was cool.
You've never had to maintain a home with snow, so
No.
it's all new for you.
Yeah, like I'm used to, like, if it snows, you just don't go anywhere. It's like, oh, you just stay at home now.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was really pretty, and Seattle does not have any kind of like snow preparedness procedures. Like we did see a couple snow plows,
On
which
the
was rare.
driest, sunniest, warmest day.
Yeah.
We were like, okay,
it was like they
2
were staging
plows.
them somewhere.
And I was like, I don't know. It's good they were up here actually, because we are hilly and
Yeah.
it's, we need them.
It's mostly personal responsibility to like clear your sidewalk and your driveway and stuff. But like the streets will not be cleared.
Yeah.
They won't even be salted. There's nothing.
And you can totally tell like what parts of the neighborhood get direct sunlight versus which ones don't. Because like some places the sidewalk looks normal and some places it looks like a winter wonderland. It's kind of crazy just to see like after like a day after snowing that there's still just like snow on the sidewalk. In some places it's like, untouched just because there's no sun there.
I get that it doesn't snow enough here to have the infrastructure to like take care of snow and stuff, but it is so weird to just have a city completely shut down for snow and ice because there's nothing else to do.
Well, if we
one of the hilliest cities in the world.
If we could find a way to monetize the ice slipping videos like we all saw on TikTok 2 years ago during like the huge ice thing. I mean, seriously, the city would be doing fine. Like, if they could just find a way to monetize people being fun during crazy ice shutdowns.
Maybe that's why they don't clear the streets because they need those sliding down hill videos of Cybertrucks sliding down hills.
Or they need people, sitting on their luggage to slide down to the bottom of a hill to get their Uber to go to the airport.
But yeah, so now it's just this has been like the most mild winter of all time. It's been like 35 and
it's
sunny.
been cold.
Well, cold for you.
It's been cold, period.
Cold for you. Cold is 0 degrees for most cold places.
Cold for me would be 0 degrees Celsius, which is cold enough. Like, seriously, we're in the 30s right now, and that shit's cold.
Well, and you're also an indoor kid.
Yes.
Who's always cold. Always.
Yeah, but like seriously,
you wear a hoodie in July.
But like once you dip below 32, that's just a flex. You don't need to get any colder. It's already frozen. Like shit is cold. Like 32, cold. 22, what's the point?
Yeah. It is. It definitely. I noticed it because I had to like walk Ruby on like an extra cold snap where it was like 30. I think it was like 30, and I was like, oh wow, 30 degrees is a lot different than 38.
Right. Well, and there's been a lot of times
like it hurts your skin just a little bit more.
Where I've been checking the phone because it's always like 36 feels like 22, and I'm like,
which is so weird because it wasn't even windy. Like usually that's like a wind chill thing.
Well, I think
there was no wind.
I think it also might have to do with like the dryness of the air or whatever, just kind of like how crispy and miserable it gets.
Oh, is that the science of
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I just read what the phone tells me. So,
but yeah, now we're done. Now we're ready for spring. Bring on the 50s and 60s. Let's get this place warmed up.
Yeah.
We don't need any more winter. We had it, and now it's over.
I saw we're about to get some days that are in the 20s.
Shut up. Shut up. Don't speak it into existence.
Nah, they're happening.
And you'll be in Vegas. It's not fair.
I will be. Yeah. So, and by the way, not to like, it's weird. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to plug this or not, but let's go for it.
Podcast comes out on Wednesday,
right?
So.
For anyone who is interested, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences has their yearly DICE Awards. It is not the studio DICE. It stands for Design, Innovate, Communicate, Entertain. And it is a video game award show that happens yearly. And I've been a part of it for a long time. And I really like that show a lot. And I will be doing the live announcing as the voice of God for that award show.
He's not playing a character named God.
Nope. It's literally
voice of God is a voiceover term for the person that does all the announcing at an award show.
Yeah, it's just the industry term for that big voice that happens in the room during the show.
He's the now welcome to the stage guy.
Exactly. So you won't hear me saying the nominees are, because I'm not that guy. But you will hear me probably say the hosts' names many times, because at this point I feel like I've said their names more often than my own. So yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be fun. So tune in. It is Thursday night, I believe 8 p.m. I'm not sure.
Pacific?
8. I believe it's 8 p.m. Pacific. Almost
Twitch?
every year. It's on Twitch. I think they stream on YouTube as well. But yeah, I would go to Twitch and then, but like I'm sure there's information at interactive.org is their website.
You said it like a full-on infomercial.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I guess that's part of the job, right? Anyway, so yeah.
You can find it at dice.org.
No, just interactive.org.
All right. Well, yeah, tune in to hear little Robbie's voice. I've been trying to get you into voiceover for years. and you won't do it. And all you got to do is put together a little tape.
I have been doing it for years. I just haven't been doing it for
money.
Yeah, I haven't really been turning it into a
or
job.
Fame. All right. I think that's a good time to move on to our last segment then. Which is, what's your order? What's your order? I think it's your turn to pick this week.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And this week's What's Your Order is...
This is funny because I feel like we kind of covered this last week.
What is it?
Favorite book.
Does that go... Is that too...
I did favorite book when we did favorite author.
Oh, you know what? Let's just scrap it then.
Okay.
This is the first What's Your Order that's been scrapped. Because, yeah, I guess favorite author and favorite book, it would be weird to not have the same one.
Right? We got too generous.
Yeah.
With our previous answers. Let's try this again.
Let's try a different one then.
Take two.
And don't fuck it up.
Favorite band.
Oh, we haven't talked about this yet, and this is perfect timing.
Right? This is good.
All right.
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
Yeah, do the honors.
Did we already talk about it last week? I don't even remember.
I think we talked about it loosely just because of general topics.
Yeah.
But if you want to elaborate and maybe go into some others.
Well, my favorite band of all time is Nine Inch Nails, which we got concert tickets to go for my birthday in August in Seattle. I don't remember if we talked about it, but they were quite expensive. And yeah, but I'm very much looking forward to going to the show. So my favorite band is Nine Inch Nails, but like, I guess I also have a favorite pop star. I mean, Lady Gaga is my number one everything. Like I love her above any other pop star, but like she's not just a pop star to me, but she's also not a band, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think when it comes to band, you can just refer to it as like artist. Like it's just, like
yeah.
When you're going to a record store, there's going to be a clump of something that you like are drawn to.
Yeah. So I would say Lady Gaga is my favorite artist. We have obviously all of her work in our collection, and same with Nine Inch Nails, which I discovered Nine Inch Nails. It's so funny. Downward Spiral was my first album that I got into, and obviously Closer was like my favorite song that I was obsessed with because I was 8th grade, 9th grade, and I liked it because like the cool kids that I liked, they all liked it, which I guess is the natural order of things. So yeah, I like Nine Inch Nails because all the people I liked Nine Inch Nails, but then I actually like got into it, and then I got really into Marilyn Manson at the time, and Garbage and Bjork, and yeah, that's how I started my journey. But yeah, it's so weird. Like I feel like I have so many favorites because like Fiona Apple's also a really big deal to me.
Maybe we need to redefine favorite for you.
Right. And then Bjork, which we've been listening to a lot recently. Bjork is huge.
Although it is funny because Bjork, I always considered her a favorite just due to the sheer quantity of her work that I've purchased. Mm-hmm. But I mean, also I haven't really some of her albums have had some high points, and like there've been moments that remind me why I like her so much.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, though, I have not truly devoured an album of hers in its entirety in, I would say, 20 years. Like, and that's a long time to keep buying someone's work when it's not consistently something that you are excited about.
Yeah, and it's hard to say that someone is your favorite when
it's a habit.
There's work of theirs that you don't like.
Yeah, at this point, it's a completion habit more than anything else. And like I don't fully dislike anything I've gotten, I don't think, but it is very much like it's not the homogenic experience anymore. Like it's not that.
That kind of goes along with Madonna too. Like Madonna used to be a huge number one for me, especially before Gaga. Madonna was my number one, but then she kind of went off in a different direction that I just stopped. I don't know, caring about her presence like I used to.
You two grew apart.
Yeah, but also like Madonna's personality, she's gone down a really weird path of just like a person I don't think I would like to be around in real life, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I feel like Gaga does everything and is the type of person I want to be and be around. So I think that's why I like Gaga so much.
It's like, yeah, Gaga, at least like her music is fun. Well, and varied at this point. Like she's doing jazz, she's doing, piano standards. And
she's so
like, she honors the
versatile.
Past. Yeah, like and she's great with a legend. Like she's just, she's good with the past, and she's also kind of bleeding edge current.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And also, and the fact that she's like pro people is good. Like, so yeah, that's nice. Like, at
And
least
pro good people.
Yeah, like, you know.
So, all right. So officially, Nine Inch Nails and Lady Gaga. Those are my favorites. Well, how about you?
Oh man, well it's funny because I'm looking at the records to kind of give me a little bit of a cheat here, and honestly, it's weird because like I always say that my number one band is Doves, you know, and I'm not trying to be Mr. like indie guy, but like for some reason they are a band that always makes me feel really good, but also really bad. They're my sad feel good band. I don't really know how to identify that otherwise, but absolutely adore them. I just listened to their first album, Lost Souls, again recently, and it is just so good. And I'm really excited because Doves has a new album coming out at the end of February called Constellations for the Lonely, and second single from it called Cold Dreaming is so good, and I love it, even though it doesn't really feature their lead singer, and their lead singer is actually one of the reasons why I like the band so much.
Well, I mean, that adds to my theory that a band is the lead singer. So it's always funny when a lead singer does a solo project. I was like, it's still that band.
Well, and it's really interesting about Doves because, like, Doves are a team of 3, and the lead singer, Jimmy, for this album, he's actually not touring it. He has some anxiety stuff, and he's decided to just sort of take care of himself during this. And then the other 2 people in Doves are brothers. And like those brothers have done a side project called Black Rivers, and that album was like okay. And it's weird because like there are a couple of Doves tracks that very much do not feature Jimmy. And some of those tracks are really great. Some of them are not my favorites. But this one that doesn't feature him is really, really good though. But also Jimmy's done a solo project as well, which I did not really attach to very well either. So it is strange. Like as a threesome, they're really, really, really interesting. But as like a duo or a solo act, they are missing something for me. So anyways, love Doves. And then yeah, like Garbage is one of my biggest longtime loves.
And you like all of their stuff.
Yeah. Garbage has never really fully dipped out for me. Their new stuff doesn't hit quite as hard, but like they like even their B-sides are good. Their covers are fun. Like Garbage is just always kind of for me. Love them. Big fan of Beck. Didn't see that one coming.
Oh yeah.
Given that like honestly
we went to see him last year.
Right. And like Mellow Gold is my least favorite album of his. I think everything he did after that's really, really cool. Especially his current stuff. I really like where he's at. Like right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to like rock bands, I'm gonna actually go with a fairly modern one. I think Arctic Monkeys. Like I absolutely just adore them. It's funny, did not really care about them until their third album, Humbug. And like,
now, did you work your way back and get into their old stuff?
I mean, like the second album has some really killer tracks. It's not my favorite, but it's got crazy energy. The first one, I understand why it made them famous. I don't care for it that much. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of good tracks, but like for the most part, Humbug is where I feel like they started doing like album statements that I wanted to be their beginning to end.
That's what I was going to say about Nine Inch Nails is like I got into Downward Spiral first, but then I worked back and got into Pretty Hate Machine and love that album so much.
I mean, luckily Pretty Hate Machine's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like Arctic Monkeys, like they're a very young band at the time. And then Humbug, I really think they started to get their shit together. And then AM is just perfect. Like there's a reason why that album made them famous. Like really, really famous. It is a perfect rock album. And after that, they got real weird, and it got really great for those of us that were along for the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think those are probably my biggies right now.
So what's your final list?
Final list, I would say, is probably shit. Yeah, like what was the first one I did? Oh yeah, it's like
Doves.
Doves, Garbage. Let's go Doves, Garbage, Arctic Monkeys.
All right then.
I'd say those are, which is funny because normally I'm a big trip hop, not pop girly, but like I love a crunchy ass beat with a smooth lady voice. So like I'm a big fan of, like Portishead, Morcheeba, Tricky. Like I like a lot of trip hop with lady singers. Yeah. Goldfrapp, her early stuff, and when she got real crunchy for Black Cherry.
Well, see, I think that music is a really personal experience, and so finding out what people's favorite music is, I mean, it's like a first impression. It instantly kind of tells you who they are and how they react to the world. So if you had said like Morgan Wallen, A, we would be getting a divorce. But B, I think that would explain to people like why you are the way you are,
Yeah, but it is funny because I always do wonder, like, I mean, not a lot of people get to sort of browse the record collection, but I'm always curious if they saw something, they'd be like, oh, you have their entire discography. I did not see that coming. I mean, because like no one's going to look at me and be like, oh, you have a bunch of Radiohead? Shocker. No one's surprised. Of course I have a bunch of Radiohead. But like, I don't know, would people think that I would have the entire discography of The Weeknd?
Nope.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do think it's weird that you're into him.
I'd say, 'cause I've been into The Weeknd since Trilogy, his first 3 mixtapes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I like his like pop hits, radio played stuff, but like I've never cared about him.
It's fine. And I've always kind of enjoyed, like, I think he was a nice sort of Michael Jackson replacement for me.
Yeah, voice wise.
Yeah, and so like I enjoyed what he did, and like he stepped in it a few times for me, but for the most part, like, I'm intrigued where he's going. Oh shit! Now I'm looking at the records and I see another artist that's one of those of like, they're kind of one of my favorites.
Who?
PJ Harvey.
Oh yeah,
I love.
Could not name a single PJ Harvey song, and I have never liked a single PJ Harvey song. There is nothing about her that I like.
And literally at this point, I believe I have every single 12-inch release she has put out. That is not like a single.
Yeah, I have all of her.
I
stuff.
have her albums. I have the demos of those albums. I have her B-side collections. I am a PJ Harvey.
I don't get it.
Person.
I can't do it.
Like, and it's funny because like I was not a PJ Harvey person until Stories from the City, Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea, which is Mercury Prize winning, fantastic. She has a really great duet with Tom York on it. It is so good. And after that, I just was on board. And I went backward. And like, seriously, she is just cool. I love her.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you are always kind of looking for PJ Harvey stuff.
Not anymore. Now I feel good. But
is
like,
it complete?
I think I'm done. But yeah, I was very much on the hunt for the Peach for a long time. Love her.
Well, the other thing I was going to say about music being personal is like merch too. Do kids still wear band shirts? I know they all wear like Taylor Swift merch and concert merch, but like when I was in high school, everyone was wearing the Melancholy and Infinite Sadness t-shirt with like that angel. Everybody was wearing the Bjork debut t-shirt. Everybody was wearing like the classic Nine Inch Nails shirt, all the Marilyn Manson shirts, but like a ton of Rage Against the Machine shirts. Like everyone had a Rage shirt.
Well, everyone had the Che Guevara shirt.
Yeah. And so in my high school, like band shirts were a big deal. STP, a lot of people had the STP shirts. But like, do kids wear current band merch like they did in the 90s?
I think it depends on the band. I mean, if you're a My Chemical Romance fan, yes. That's
considered retro now.
But I think the thing is, they're still relevant though, because they're still reissuing Black Parade and people are still into it.
That's what I'm saying, but that's an ancient album.
I guess.
Like, it's for kids nowadays. I'm saying, like,
but I feel like,
are they wearing?
Well, definitely they're wearing the Taylor Swift stuff. And like, I mean, Hot Topics still sell, they've got to be selling other stuff aside from Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Right. Like, but are they only selling like Nirvana t-shirts?
Oh yeah, are they only doing vintage at this point?
Yeah,
or like vintage recreations.
That was another one. A lot of people wore Nirvana t-shirts
because like
Pearl Jam.
Like when it comes to tour tees and stuff, I used to be that person of like, if I went to a show, I was buying a shirt. And then I changed my tune on that one of if I go to a show, I will buy clothing if it has the year and the tour on it.
Yeah, tour specific merch.
Like if it's something that I could buy off their website that's completely just album branded, I can get that in a store. Like that's fine. I don't need to get that right there for $50 at the tour. But yeah,
they don't make tour merch that fits me, so I always have to get accessories.
Yeah, which I mean, seriously, some of the accessories are cool though. Like
we have got some good posters.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too. Is I love a good like screen printed tour poster that's just for the city we're seeing it. That's the best.
Yeah,
like when you go to a concert and it's that poster for just that show.
Well, I was all excited when Karina Round did her show in Seattle. She hand wrote copies of her set list for that show.
That's cool.
Yeah, and signed them all. So I got one of those. I was really excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could talk about music forever. We have a giant record collection and we listen to music constantly every day. Yeah,
and it's funny because like earlier this week even I was kind of excited and then sad because I looked at the Record Store Day list because for those of you that don't know, Record Store Day is a twice yearly event. Oh my God, I'm going to announcer mode again, but here we go. It's a twice yearly event, happens at independent record stores only for in-store stuff. And basically it is a day where labels will make really small runs, like 500 units for the entire world, and they'll only give them to independent record stores. So if you don't know about it, check it out. It's kind of cool. Recordstoreday.com has the list of stuff. It happens on the third Sunday in April every year and on Black Friday. Black Friday is usually a smaller quantity of products compared to the April drop. And this year I was super excited when I looked at the list because there was nothing I wanted. Because seriously, like record store day is a very expensive day for me usually. And it's a very stressful day because I don't want to wait overnight.
It used to be a thing you could do.
Yeah. And then I started waiting overnight at Amoeba in LA. And now I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it used to be a thing you could do, and it used to be a thing you could show up at 3 a.m. and that's when we knew it was starting to get a little too popular. And then the flippers caught on.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, I can go to this store, wait in line, buy a record for $50 and flip it for $300 on eBay. I'm going to do that." So, Record Store Day has kind of been ruined by flippers and like ultra fandoms. Between like ultra fandoms and flippers, it's now people line up literally three days ahead of time.
Well, and it's that same problem. I mean, because like not to be shitting on like the biggest artists in the world, but yeah, like when you have an artist that's kind of bigger than Record Store Day, bigger than independent record stores, driving a huge amount of people to it kind of makes it harder also, because Taylor Swift did that with one of her releases.
Yeah.
And it's like when Madonna did Coachella, it was just one of those things of like, Madonna's fan base has never descended on Coachella like this, and all of a sudden it wasn't equipped for it.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of the, or like when Beyonce does Coachella, it's one of those things of just like, holy shit. Like,
you bring in an entirely different group of people that aren't accustomed to the procedures.
And honestly, and it kind of changes what the whole event is, because I feel like a lot of people that went to go see Beyonce at Coachella probably went to Coachella in subsequent years, because it's a great show. It's a cool event if you're into it. And so, but it definitely, they probably may not have had their finger on the pulse until they had a reason to. So I think Record Store Day has gotten a lot bigger since Taylor got involved, which, high tide raises all boats, but I'm too old to deal with that now.
And Taylor's just doing a single this year, so like it will be limited, but I don't think people are going to really descend upon Record Store Day.
I think
like
we're
they
okay.
did last year.
But this year I was thrilled though. The American Record Store Day list has nothing that I need.
Yeah, so
I was so excited.
No more worrying.
But then I saw that my band Doves are doing a double A side in Europe only for Record Store Day. Thanks, guys. So now I just have to worry about importing that later. But anyway.
You'll get it.
It's serious. And like the UK Record Store Day stuff is always hard for me because none of our stores get it. But, you do what you got to do.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, that was a good What's Your Order, because, we got lots of options. And
Seriously.
that goes towards your homework assignment for the week, which is to stream Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, which is
so good,
on track to becoming one of her biggest songs ever,
and for good reason. That song,
she's
fucking
back, baby,
rocks.
she's back.
Like seriously, like not to quote the band Health from their episode of Song Exploder when they were talking about Telephone by Lady Gaga, the beat on that song kind of kicks my dick off. It's a good beat. Like that song is awesome.
It's so good. And it has like really fun cadence to learn, and I love it, and I love her, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And your other homework assignment is to watch The Blackening, which we rented on Prime?
We watched it on Amazon Prime. I think it was like $4 for a rental. It's like $5.99 everywhere
so
else.
Good.
It was super fun.
Such a good movie. But all right, well, that was a fun episode,
right?
Got a lot in talking about. Now we have to go change some bandages because it's been an hour. We got to take our pills and change our band-aids.
God, being old is dumb. I don't
Such
like
a treat,
right?
And a dream. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening and subscribing and liking and sharing and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. All right, we love you. Goodbye.